a video which I may or may not have put out by the time this one comes out, I have, or at least will be talking about, a snare drum I have by the C&C company. And the C&C company first came to my attention, I think, when they did a collaboration with Craviotto in 2005. Now, probably one of my earliest videos on this channel actually was was basically my other drum of this particular series, which is the 14x5.5 Power Blackheart Abalone finished drum, and that kind of I would kind of describe that as a sort of peacock sort of finish. That's the thing that it reminds me of the most. As I probably said in that video as well, I spoke to Bill Cardwell when he came over here many years ago, and I asked him about the run of these drums, and he told me that there was more than 50 and less than 100, and over the 4 finishes, obviously that equates to roughly sort of 25 in each finish. Now this drum is very loud. I don't know if I'm going to be able to correct the colour on this sufficiently to what it is, you know, actually in person. But this is, if I remember rightly, orange burst over white Awabi, and it really is quite well. It's very loud. It's a very bright, distinct finish. That was at the orange bit, obviously. If you imagine that the white Awabi is kind of like a very literal white marine pearl type thing, and then you've got the orange burst sort of fading out to the sides. And the rest of the drum is fairly sort of standard Craviotto maple shell. You know, you've got your fairly sort of shallow snare bed. Bashing other drums here. You've got a fairly sharp bearing edge there. Trick strainer, 10 lugs, you know, Remo heads. I've got the original Craviotto heads on here. I'm not quite sure if these are nickel coated hoops or not. They're not quite chrome. And whilst they are susceptible to getting a little bit more dirty, I think, than some of the other hoops, I think they are actually slightly different. You know, all in all, it is a very much like with a lot of the Craviottos that I've got. It's a fairly sort of standard 14x6.5 maple shell. There's nothing overly remarkable about that in that respect, but it once again, you know, it's the finish that really makes this drum. And given that there's you know, at most a couple of dozen in this finish knocking around, that's really what makes it sort of special. And you know, it plays the same as every other Craviotto, you know, which it's sensitive, it's loud, it's got a wide tuning range, it's got a lot of dynamics to it. This is what it sounds like, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.